You are standing in the shower, and suddenly, you are winning an argument. You know exactly what to say to that person who cut you down at work, or the friend who disappeared without an explanation, or the stranger whose lifestyle irritates you. We all carry what psychologists call an inner population. It is a mental space populated by faces, voices, and unfinished conversations with people who continue to live inside our heads, even if they are long gone from our daily lives. When someone from this population enters your mind, your body responds. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches. You find yourself on edge, rehearsing perfect comebacks to someone who isn't even in the room. We usually tell ourselves this reaction is purely objective. We assume we are experiencing moral clarity, that we simply have good judgment and can see exactly how arrogant, needy, or terrible that other person is. But the sheer intensity of that reaction suggests something more is at play. This persistent fixation acts as a doorway, inviting us to look past the other person's behavior and toward the specific hidden places they've just eliminated within us. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the sequence of an encounter. Long before your conscious mind can form a single thought about a person, your biology has already reacted to them. This flowchart illustrates a biological background process called neuroception, showing a sensory input bypassing your conscious mind and directly triggering the nervous system's alarm center. Your body is constantly scanning the room for specific patterns, like a tone of voice, a facial expression, or a posture, and immediately checking them against past threats. If a new coworker speaks with a specific type of confidence, and that confidence matches the posture of a past bully, your system flags it. The sensory input hits an archived memory, and your body braces instantly as if the old threat has returned. During a sudden, intense overreaction, your physical body is not actually responding to the present moment. It is bracing against the ghost of a past pattern. Your conscious mind is deeply uncomfortable with unexplained physical panic. When the body goes into high alert, the brain scrambles to create a logical justification for all that sudden tension. In psychology, this mechanism is described as story follows state. If your nervous system feels small and threatened, your mind will automatically write a story labeling the person standing in front of you as dangerous or arrogant to explain the state your body is in. This process flattens complex human beings into two-dimensional caricatures. We cast them as the villain, the savior, or the needy one, because dealing with a simple stereotype makes a chaotic world feel much easier to control. That feeling of absolute certainty we have about someone else's toxic character is frequently a cognitive cover-up. It gives us a neat explanation for our own physiological discomfort. The Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung gave us a useful framework for this. He called it the shadow. The shadow contains the traits, desires, and wounds that we have hidden, denied, or never learned how to hold within ourselves. Because dealing with these hidden parts is too painful to manage directly, the mind places them outside of us. We cast our own repressed traits onto others, reacting to them out there before we can recognize them in here. This is called psychological projection. This mechanism often triggers when we encounter a quality we were forced to exile. If someone's visible need for attention feels uniquely offensive, it may be because that need was once shamed or mocked in our early lives. We aren't just judging their behavior, we are policing a part of ourselves that we've learned to despise. Contempt and righteous hatred serve a very specific function. They build a high place for the ego to stand on. From up there, looking down at someone else's flaws, you don't have to feel the underlying grief, shame, or powerlessness hiding in your own shadow. Our most intense moral judgments are rarely pure signs of clarity. They act as emotional armor, designed to protect a hidden wound from being touched again. Now, recognizing someone as a psychological mirror does not excuse their toxic behavior. It does not mean you should dissolve your boundaries or let someone cause actual harm while you search for an internal lesson. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh observed that anger acts like an internal knot. When you hold on to rage, you remain psychologically tied to the very person who harmed you, allowing them to continually govern your life from a distance. This is where we separate discernment from hatred. Discernment is recognizing harm, setting a boundary, and walking away. Hatred, however, is the need to keep that person alive as a permanent enemy in your mind, just to validate your decision to leave. Mature self-inquiry asks something harder, but far more freeing. It allows a firm, unapologetic boundary without needing to dehumanize the other person to enforce it. The goal of examining your shadow is not to achieve a state of perfect numbness or to promise you will never judge anyone again. The goal is simply to stop forcing other people to carry your unhealed wounds for you. The next time you feel a sudden, massive emotional charge towards someone, pause. Instead of building a case against them, ask yourself, what part of me is this reaction protecting? When you find yourself having that phantom argument in the shower, you have a choice. Step down from the armor of righteousness, turn the enemy back into a mirror, and welcome your hidden self back home.
Thank you for watching. If something in this resonated with you, then you're already closer than you think. If you're ready to go deeper, there's a link below to my book, Shadows of Each Other: How Others Reveal the Hidden Places Within Us. This isn't theory, it's a framework you can actually use. Tap the link below and step into it.